Did I tell y'all that I was an award-winning chili cook? Well, I am. So hang out with me while I throw together the first chili pot of the year. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. This is not my award-winning chili recipe. This is the I'm craving some chili and we're going to make it happen recipe. The first thing I'm going to do is cut up a couple of pieces of bacon and get that into the bottom of my pot. Then I'm going to add some diced sirloin steak. We had this left over from another recipe and I didn't want it to go to waste. What better place to use it than chili? Then I added some hamburger meat that I had that was also left over. I don't think your chili can be too beefy. A meaty chili is a good thing. Then it's time to get some seasoning in the pot. And let me tell you, the secret to making good chili is by seasoning in stages. The first stage is to season the meat in the pot. I added chopped garlic, salt, and pepper. Then I also added onions and green pepper. And we're also going to add garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, and I used 2 different kinds, a regular chili powder and a chipotle chili powder, and cumin. Do not forget the cumin. Also, we're going to add a couple of bay leaves and about a tablespoon of oregano. Now that we have all our seasoning and our spices in the pot, we're going to give it a good stir and let that cook until everything is really fragrant. You should be able to smell the chili powder and the garlic and the peppers and the onions. You should be able to smell them cooking as you're walking up to your house. That's when you'll know you've seasoned it enough, when you can smell it all through the house. Once we've let those cook for a minute and we've let everything kind of meld together, it's time to add a few more ingredients. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. I always buy the tomato paste in the tube because you can just squeeze out how much you need and then it goes back in the fridge. A large can of tomato puree, then some beef stock or beef broth, whichever one you have, and then 1 whole can or bottle of beer. Use whatever beer you have at your house. I've tried it with many different kinds, and I have not had one ruin the pot yet. Now right here I decided to add another can of tomato sauce, but it was because it needed just a little more liquid and I didn't want to use beef stock and make it too runny. Now it's time to get the lid on it and let it cook for a while. After letting it cook for about an hour, it's time to get back and get everything to the next step. And the next thing we're going to do is add more seasoning and add our beans to the pot. I'm adding a can of red kidney beans that have been drained and rinsed, and they can be light or dark kidney beans. It doesn't matter. And now we're going to add all the same spices that we added earlier. We're going to add it again. Both chili powders, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and cumin. We're dumping all those spices one more time. Then we're going to give that a good stir. Then we're going to let it cook for about an hour and then come back and taste it. The first thing I notice when I taste this is it needs a little bit of sugar added to it. This pot of chili had a bitter note in the back end of it and I really didn't like it. What's funny is that doesn't always happen when you're making chili, but sometimes it does. So you have to adjust. And this we adjusted by adding a teaspoon of sugar. Now it's time to taste again. What else does it need? If it needs salt or pepper or garlic powder or onion powder, cumin, chili powder, add it in there. You want to get that in there now. Then I added 1 can of Summer Crisp white shoe peg corn. Then let it cook for at least another 30 minutes or so. Now all you have to do is serve it up in a bowl with a sprinkle of cheddar cheese and a dollop of sour cream. Add a side of our homemade cornbread to go with this, and you have got the perfect meal. Enjoy!